In the northern part of London stands an old hospital, St. Mary's Hospital. From the outside, it looks like any other building. But those who have worked inside know one ward that everyone fears to even mention, Ward number 9. That ward has been closed for years. They say someone still walks there at night, a nurse in a white uniform who never stopped doing her duty. Her name was Amelia Grace. This story sounds like fiction, but behind are documents, hospital reports, and death certificates, all connected to the same nurse. In 1999, Ward 9 was a normal patient care unit. It mostly treated terminally ill patients, people in the final stages of cancer and other incurable diseases. Among the staff, one nurse stood out, Amelia Grace. She was calm, polite, and always smiling. Patients loved her. They called her the angel nurse. She always told them, "Don't worry, I'll take your pain away." But within a few months, something strange began to happen. Every week, one patient would die suddenly. Some from cardiac arrest, others from breathing failure, and some from insulin shock. Yet there was one common detail. Every death happened around 2 o'clock in the morning, and the night shift always belonged to Amelia Grace. Dr. Lewis, the supervising doctor of that ward, was the first to notice something unusual. He asked her one night, "Amelia, is this all coincidence, or are you hiding something?" Amelia simply smiled and said, "Doctor, sometimes death is kinder than medicine." That night, she left early. When she returned for her next shift, the entire ward felt different. Heart monitors were turning on and off without reason. Emergency lights flickered randomly. Amelia gave an injection to a patient named Mr. Henry Thomas. The report said insulin dose, but later the lab confirmed it was a double dose. Mr. Thomas died within 10 minutes. After that incident, Dr. Lewis started reviewing the old patient files. The last 8 deaths were all caused by insulin overdose. All 8 shifts belonged to the same nurse, Amelia Grace. He checked the hospital's CCTV footage. The Ward 9 camera was filled with fog, as if the lens refused to see. But for one brief moment, a shadow passed by, a tall figure wearing nurse's cap and a white uniform. The timestamp showed 2:03 a.m. It was Amelia's shift. That same night, Anna Wilson, the night receptionist, saw Amelia leaving the ward. There were blood stains on her uniform. Anna asked, "Amelia, what happened?" Amelia replied, "I saved him. He's not in pain anymore." Then she walked away, smiling. The next morning, another death was recorded. And on the wall of the emergency room, written in blood, were 2 chilling words, "Shift complete." The hospital administration tried to cover it up. They declared Amelia mentally unstable and granted her medical leave. But only a few days later, she was found dead in her apartment, the same drug running through her veins. On her table lay a single hospital file. On its cover, written in faded ink, were the words, "Ward 9, pending cases." After Amelia's death, St. Mary's Hospital tried to move on. Ward 9 was sealed, and her name was quietly removed from all official records. But whispers continued to circulate among the staff. Some said Amelia's spirit still roamed the corridors. Others believed what she did was never madness. It was a mission. Dr. Lewis couldn't let go of the mystery. He requested access to Amelia's personal file, but most of it was missing. What remained were fragments, a few handwritten notes, and an old photo of Amelia with a little girl. The caption on the back read, "My sister, Mary." The next day, Dr. Lewis went to Amelia's apartment. It was small, quiet, and strangely clean, as if no one had lived there for months. On her bedside table, there was a worn-out diary. The first page read, "To those who suffer, I will bring peace." The diary revealed a truth far darker than anyone expected. Years before she became a nurse, Amelia's younger sister, Mary, had been admitted to the same hospital, St. Mary's. Mary suffered from a rare genetic disease that caused unbearable pain. One night, Amelia found her sister crying, begging for the pain to stop. The next morning, Mary was gone. The report said respiratory failure, but Amelia wrote something else in her diary. She asked me to end it, so I did. From that night, Amelia believed she had a purpose to free people from pain. She studied nursing, joined the same hospital, and started working in Ward 9, where the most hopeless patients were kept. In her first year, she was a model nurse, caring, responsible, and beloved by patients. But then something shifted. She began to spend more time alone with dying patients, whispering to them, holding their hands until their monitors went silent. No one suspected anything at first, because the deaths seemed natural. One evening, a patient named Margaret Woods survived an unexpected seizure. When she regained consciousness, she told another nurse something chilling. She said, "Amelia came close to me and said, 'It's okay, Margaret. I'll help you sleep forever.'" Then everything went dark. When questioned, Amelia denied it. Her expression didn't change. She simply said, "Patients in pain often hallucinate." But Dr. Lewis noticed her handwriting in the medical log. The insulin dose had been changed by hand. By the end of that year, 12 deaths occurred under her care. Each one followed the same pattern: calm, painless, and always at 2 a.m. When investigators checked the drug storage, they found missing vials of insulin, all signed out under her name. The police were contacted, but before any formal charges could be filed, Amelia disappeared. 3 days later, she returned to the hospital, claiming she had been praying for the lost souls. That same night, Ward 9 experienced a complete power failure. When the lights came back on, 3 patients were dead. Dr. Lewis resigned soon after, unable to bear the guilt. In his final statement to the board, he wrote, "Amelia Grace believed she was saving lives. But what if she wasn't alone in that belief? What if something else convinced her that death was mercy?" After Amelia's body was found, rumors spread that her flat smelled of antiseptic and blood. The police report mentioned a faint smile on her face and a single injection mark on her arm. There was no sign of struggle, just peace, as if she had finally joined those she had saved. But the story didn't end there. 6 months later, a new nurse named Julia Adams was assigned to St. Mary's. She had never heard of Amelia Grace. On her first day, she was told to check the storage room in Ward 9. The room was dusty, silent, and untouched for months. Inside one of the lockers, she found a nurse's cap with faded initials, AG. That night, Julia stayed late for her shift. Around 2 a.m., the monitors began to beep one by one. She felt a sudden chill, as if someone was standing behind her. She turned, but there was no one there. Yet, on the glass window, she saw the reflection of a nurse smiling faintly. The next morning, Julia was gone. Her belongings remained in the locker. The only thing the staff found was a note. It read, "She said it's my turn to take care of it." Julia Adams's disappearance reopened a case that St. Mary's Hospital had tried to bury. The police launched a quiet investigation, but the hospital administration cooperated only partially. Most records from Ward 9 were missing. The old CCTV hard drives had been wiped. The only clue left was Julia's last note and the blood-stained nurse's cap. Detective Alan Price was assigned to the case. He was known for his methodical approach and skepticism toward anything supernatural. He began by revisiting the timeline of Amelia Grace's life and death. Every record led back to one place, Ward 9. When Price entered the sealed ward for the first time, he described the air as heavy and cold. The equipment was still there, covered in dust. On one of the walls, he found faint handwriting under a layer of paint. It read, "Pain is temporary. Freedom is forever." He took photographs and ordered the area to be tested. The writing contained traces of insulin and human blood. Through surviving hospital staff, Price pieced together a disturbing pattern. In the months after Amelia's death, 3 nurses had resigned, all reporting vivid nightmares. They described hearing a woman's voice whispering to them, calling their names at night. 2 of them left nursing altogether. One of them, Anna Wilson, who had spoken to Amelia on her last night alive, agreed to meet Price for an interview. Anna appeared nervous. She said she still dreamt about that night. According to her, Amelia had been calm, almost peaceful. Before leaving the hospital, Amelia had looked back and said, "They'll need someone after me." Anna had never understood what she meant until Julia's disappearance. Price's team examined Amelia's apartment again. Hidden beneath the floorboards, they found a small metal box. Inside were patient wristbands, 16 of them, each marked with a date and a short message. Some said, "Released." Others said, "He smiled." One simply read, 2 o'clock. Forensic reports confirmed that the handwriting matched Amelia's. But one wristband didn't belong to any recorded patient. The name on it was Julia Adams. The date was blank. Price refused to believe in ghosts. Yet every piece of evidence suggested something that went beyond logic. He arranged for Ward 9 to be reopened for controlled investigation. A small team of technicians and officers entered at midnight. At 1:55 a.m., the monitors powered on by themselves. At 2 o'clock, one of the cameras captured movement. A nurse in white, head slightly tilted, walking slowly between the beds. When the officers entered the corridor, there was nothing. The equipment was intact, but the footage remained. 2 days later, the footage was reviewed again. The timestamp was missing. The woman's face in the video resembled Amelia Grace. The official report called it a data malfunction caused by electromagnetic interference. The files were classified. Ward 9 was permanently sealed. Dr. Lewis, now retired, watched the news from his home. He gave one final statement to a journalist. She wasn't insane. She believed she was chosen. But chosen by what? I'll never know. Years passed, and the story of Amelia Grace turned into hospital folklore. New nurses heard it during training and laughed it off. Yet every so often, a patient claimed to see a woman in white standing by their bed, smiling gently before they drifted into sleep. In 2021, a renovation team was sent to St. Mary's to prepare the old building for demolition. When they reached Ward 9, they found that the door, long welded shut, was slightly open. Inside, everything was untouched, except for one bed, where fresh flowers were placed. There was also a clipboard resting on the table. On it was written, in clear handwriting, Ward 9, active duty. The handwriting matched Amelia Grace. The clipboard was taken as evidence, but a week later it disappeared from the police archive. Detective Price retired soon after. In his final private note, he wrote, "Some cases never close. Sometimes death just changes its uniform." To this day, locals claim that when ambulances pass by the site of the old St. Mary's Hospital, their radios pick up faint beeping sounds at exactly 2 in the morning, followed by a woman's soft voice saying, "Shift complete." Don't forget to like our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for the latest updates.